Snake, you know who that is?
You're kidding, right? It's Mario.
Mario made his first appearance in 1981, and since then, he's become a worldwide phenomenon. There's probably not a single person who doesn't know Mario. He's that famous.
Good thing I survived long enough to meet him on the field of battle, huh?
This is a once-in-a-lifetime chance, Snake. Now get out there and show him what you're made of. No regrets.
Got it.
Crossovers can truly be a dream come true in the gaming industry. From Mario and Rabbids working together in a shared battlefield with Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle, to Disney and Square Enix coming together for the Kingdom Hearts series, to Sega, Capcom, and Namco Bandai creating two massive crossover RPGs filled with rich history from all three companies. That don't include Sonic, Mega Man, and Pac-Man for some reason. As great as crossovers can be, there's nothing that can come close to the absolute insane scale of Super Smash Bros. Series. With Banjo-Kazooie making their grand debut in Ultimate, it's time for us to discuss the series once more on the Gaming Gallery. I'm your host today, GreenCobrasGaming, and in today's episode of the Gaming Gallery, we'll discuss the development history of Super Smash Bros. Brawl for the Nintendo Wii. A few years after the release of Super Smash Bros. Melee, series creator Masahiro Sakurai decided to leave the HAL Laboratory, the company who developed the first two Smash Bros. Games. When he resigned, Sakurai, friend and former Nintendo CEO Satoru Iwata has promised that he'll approach Sakurai if Nintendo ever decides to make another Smash game. That being said, at the pre-E3 2005 conference, Iwata would reveal that Nintendo planned on developing a Super Smash Bros. Game for the Wii that will take advantage of the Nintendo Wi-Fi connection for online multiplayer. Sakurai was surprised at the reveal as Iwata never approached him, but the two would have a private meeting later the same day to discuss the new game. Iwata said that if Sakurai didn't want to direct the project, Nintendo would instead port Super Smash Bros. Melee to the Wii, adding only online multiplayer and nothing else. Sakurai agreed to direct the game and officially development was underway. The early stages of Brawl's development went against Nintendo's traditional development cycles. Sakurai had a team from Game Arts working on a project with additional help from Monolith Soft and Payon during Brawl's preliminary development, with a full team of developers later working on the game full-time. Iwata would have really never allowed a game to be up like this, especially one as high-profile as Smash Bros. Game. But he trusted Sakurai enough to allow development to begin like this. One of the more ambitious inclusions in the game was a subspace emissary, the series' first true mode. According to Shigeru Miyamoto, Sakurai also had always wanted a deep story in a Smash game, but it couldn't be done in the past as the development team was focused on the multiplayer modes. The amount of work that went into Subspace Emissary's development was about the same as developing an entire separate game, to the point where Sakurai even considered outsourcing the development of the story mode to a separate company. Sakurai worked on the multiplayer while an outside studio developed the story mode. He couldn't finalize a contract with the company he was comfortable enough with and decided to develop the story mode in-house. With that said, Sakurai would go on to hire Kazuki Nojima, who were most famous work include the scenario writer for Kingdom Hearts, Final Fantasy, and the most recent Final Fantasy VII Remake, to create a plot outline for Subspace Emissary. Not everything Sakurai wanted to include in the story mode made it into the final game. There were plans for cutscenes explaining how the Subspace Emissary took over the Hellbird while King Dedede unintentionally kept Meta Knight from preventing the event. But due to time constraints, this portion of the game story had to be dropped. Another scene that was included in Nojima's first draft of the story features Samus and Donkey Kong taking the bus to the stadium at the beginning of the game while Snake watched from a distance. Speaking of cutscenes, they played a large role in Subspace Emissary's long development cycle. No motion capture was used during development. Many animators had to animate everything more traditionally. On top of that, Sakurai also filmed himself particularly acting out every single scene in the game, so animators knew exactly how to play every character. Now let's discuss some scrapped characters. 3 characters who dropped in Brawls who later appeared in Super Smash Bros. 4 were the Animal Crossing villager, Pac-Man, and Mies. The villager was highly requested from fans due to the popularity of Animal Crossing series. They didn't make the cut as Sakurai felt they are unsuited for a battle, and Sakurai felt at the time that a villager's instant charm would be ruined by including them in a fighting game. Oh boy, was he right on that one. Mies was also dropped for similar reasons. During the announcement for Super Smash Bros. 4, Sakurai revealed that during Brawl's development, it didn't seem right to have Mies characters pushing and kicking. Concerns over online bullying was also contributed to the Mies not making the final cut. Pac-Man was a personal request from Shigeru Miyamoto, as Pac-Man is Miyamoto's favorite video game character. Sakurai also had trouble figuring out a moveset, so he didn't make it into the game. Namco Bandai, involved in the development of Super Smash Bros. 4, may have played a role in Pac-Man finally joining the battle. Blastoise was originally going to appear as part of the Pokemon trainer. That would be replaced by Squirrel to better focus on the evolution mechanic of Pokemon. Geno from Super Mario RPG was another kid who was briefly considered. Unfortunately, Geno proved too complicated to include, as Square Enix owns the rights to the character, and Square Enix makes it difficult to include Geno. Crystal was also considered as a new character to represent Star Fox. However, unfortunately, Wolf would be chosen instead because his similarities to Fox, and Falcon would be developing the characters easier. Crystal would later appear in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate as a assist trophy. Oh well, that's okay. They were all kids who were considered, but what about the ones that almost made the final cut? In the final game's code includes unfinished fails labeled Dixie, Dr. Mario, Mewtwo, Roy, Promi, Toon Sheik, and Toon Zelda. It's pretty obvious that Dr. Mario, Mewtwo, Roy were planned to returning characters from Melee. Mewtwo, the most complete of the characters, still has unused fanfare, a remote sound effect, and graphic effect files. Dixie is heavily implied to be Dixie Kong from the Donkey Kong Country series. Based on evidence from the files, Dixie was planned to be the part of the 2-in-1 characters similar to the Ice Climbers, with players switching back and forth between controlling Diddy and Pixie. Due to technical issues, Dixie Kong was scrapped and Diddy Kong became a solo fighter. Toon Zelda can be safely theorized to be a cel-shaded version of Princess Zelda, similar to Link and Toon Link. Toon Sheik, however, is a bit of a mystery, as there never been a cel-shaded version of the character in the Zelda game. The most popular theory is this would have been Tetra, but there's not much support of this outside just making sense. The idea of Parma, or however you pronounce that, is commonly believed to be the Pokemon duo Pulsel and Minun. Parma can be a word of the Japanese name Purutsuru and Manan, according to the leftover files. Puzzle and Minun could also be worked as a single character as opposed to Ice Climbers' 2 characters, similar to how Donkey Kong would work later in the series. Now it's time for some random trivia that doesn't fit anywhere else in the video. Hooray for random trivia! In the announcement trailer, Kirby can be seen using his mid-air attack for Melee. Fox was going to hold his blaster the entire battle. Snake's grab was originally going to look more closely like Metal Gear Solid, with Snake grabbing characters by their own mouths and arms. His minds were also originally going to look more realistic. Parry from Super Princess Peach was planned to be used in Peach's moveset. In the game's files, Parry's name is used for a text or a personal. The traditional blast line KO could happen if characters were KO'd from the top screen. This doesn't happen outside Space Emissary in the final game. Ridley was going to be an assist trophy until this was scrapped in favor of him being a boss character. The idea of one character appearing as both an assist trophy and a boss would be realized with Rather Lost in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate for the Switch. Characters were originally going to feature visible signs of damage. Left over in the game files are cracked versions of Highland's shield, Mega Knight's mask, and Captain Falcon's visor. The idea would be used in later games with Little Mac, Armor, and King K. Rool. The last thing we'll like to get into are some fun rumors. Around the time of game's release, a popular rumor going on was that the We Want More channel on the Wii, which was supposed to allow players to download DLC. The rumor claims Super Smash Bros. Brawl was to launch a line We Want More, and would be the first game in the series to feature DLC characters. This would be proven false, as Wii's technical limitations made DLC impossible for the console. A third-party character had always been speculated to be considered for Brawl. As we mentioned earlier, the actual characters considered were Pac-Man, Geno. However, several rumors claimed that Mega Man and Leon S. Kennedy from Resident Evil 4 were considered as well. Again, these would be proven false. In the last rumor we're discussing claimed Brawl was going to be the last game in the series, but this rumor started based on a couple of misunderstandings. Sakurai purposely confirmed he was developing Brawl with the mindset that it was the last game in the series, but never actually said it was going to be. The game's tagline, "One Brawl to End Them All," also contributed to the rumor. Thankfully, this was proven false because at E3 2011, Satoru Iwata officially confirmed the next game in the series at the time would be coming to Wii U and Nintendo 3DS. That's all for today, but don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like, and the bell buttons. They do stuff occasionally when YouTube decides to work. YouTube. Sometimes. If you'd like to watch more Game Gallery, there's a playlist on screen full of videos similar to this one, and be sure to at least like at least one of them. We're talking about a lot of games of this show. I've been your host, GreenCobrasGaming, and also on screen there will be a link to my Super Mario Galaxy Let's Play. Mario is in Super Smash Bros. Brawl, and both games are already, so that's why it makes sense to promote myself, as well as my Pokemon Fire Red Ramonaz Nuzlocke, which Pokemon's also Smash Bros., so it makes sense to promote myself. But anyway, thank you for all watching this episode of Gamer, and remember that in our hearts, we are true gamers. I'm out.